Well, I think the girls rose to the challenge. Definitely had a day that they could remember. When you are one of the last 4 teams in the region, you can't finish on a high note unless you're the region champion. And unfortunately, we weren't the region champions this year. But I was really proud the way they played. The final third is what really lacked for us. We had our opportunities there at 0-0 and also at 1-0. The sharpness in front of the goal just wasn't quite there. The opportunities were created defensively, and midfield were doing everything they could, and strikers had phenomenal afternoons. But just in that first half, we struggled to get the ball into the net, and in the end, in the second half, they were just too powerful for us. Yeah, I had to actually make a list. They all played incredibly well. I mean, every girl that touched the field, even some of those that only got on for a few minutes, did incredibly well, rose to the challenge. Val Sturman in the midfield was incredible. Sorry about that, providing opportunities that wouldn't be there otherwise. And then Vika Hassel and Andrea Compere were really strong up top. There were times in which our attack really consisted of our midfield 20 yards deep of them, and those two just really going at it with a little bit of striker support on the left side. And then my French, the French connection on top of that, Morella was strong, was able to get up and to provide service for the girls up top. Mia Her put some shots on goal that, quite frankly, I didn't even think were possible. Their goalkeeper is Defensive Player of the Year. She had an opportunity from about 35 yards out where the goalkeeper did everything, did an incredible save enough to push it over the top. And so that's something that Mia was bringing that they couldn't quite handle. And then Amy Epp in goal was fantastic. The score line won't suggest it so much, but we did score an own goal, and then also broke down on the backside. She made some key saves, especially in that first half. And then a lot of people watching the stream at home might not have known this, but Lindsay Ackley, my left back, who is a second-team all-conference girl, had a phenomenal first half, but came off with injury at halftime, and we had to make a change. And the bulk of their second half goals came from that side. Yeah, and so she was fantastic in that first half, albeit just 45 minutes. And she tried to go to start that half, and she just didn't have the mobility that we needed or that she wanted. So it was a tough break for her. So all those girls played well defensively. Again, the scoreline doesn't suggest it so much, but in a 90-minute match, we actually gave up the bulk of those goals in a 5-minute time frame. So we did quite well in that regard.
Okay.
Well, it was a year full of pride. A lot of the players on this year's team are one of 2 columns that's brand new to CCC or returning from what was a rough year last year. So, they were incredible, playing, progress and passion and pursuit of goals, because we had all those things laid out, things that we wanted to achieve this year. And for the most part, we did, and so that's a point of pride for me. And then we had 7 all-conference players as well. Andrea Compere on the first team. She was also on the Player of the Year ballot. Of course, she did not win that award, but the fact that she was on there, I was quite honored by. And then you had Vika Hassel, the second team striker, Morella Adjabijanow and Mia Her, both the second team midfielders, Melissa Larson, Mackenzie Nichols, and as I mentioned before, Lindsay Ackley, all from the back line. So that's 3 out of our 4 defenders that made that line, and so a lot of pride for what we did this year, and I think it's the type of group that we could hopefully recreate some of that magic moving forward.